How are you today? Oh, I am excited. Well, I'm always excited when I talk to you guys because there's like so much to share in this world and everything. But I know these are topics, most of these are the ones you asked for. Imagine that. So when you ask, I say, just ask me for it. Come on, ask for it. Well, I'm very known to deliver on what most things I'm asked for anyway. And I think these are very relevant topics today. Today it's going to be on, you ready for this? Drum roll, karma. Now, your view when I said the word karma is going to be based on a few things. That you sitting out there listening to this, or the group of you of whoever's watching this, your personal reaction has a lot to do with the kind of karma maybe you wish on others, to the good or to the bad. Let's think about that one. So I have a lot of bullet point notes that I want to really get into. And I want to talk to you about, here's the big one, how it works. Now, there's so much opinion, we'll call it opinion, blah, 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 blah. I think, you know what I think, you know what I think. Well, let's look at some facts. I mean, to me, I'm a facts person. I'm an analyzer type, okay? And as a Greek person, we are known to be sitting around and thinking and analyzing. So, I guess I'm back there with Socrates, Plato, and all those people, because they're always trying to come up with wise answers. And what's the name of the show? All Aboard. So I need you to get all aboard with me today, all aboard. Not part of you, not, distracted, all of you. Let's have your mind attention on this so you'll quit saying, gee, I wonder, I've been thinking about this. How about getting some facts? So I'm about facts. I'm the facts lady. So let's find out a few things. So first thing is I want to talk about how it works and who and why actually fears it. Well, first thing, unless, that's the key word, unless you personally are somebody that is always going around wishing, hoping, crossing your fingers and toes that karma gets somebody, you really, in a way, down deep, have some kind of a hidden fear. I sure don't want it to bite me in the hiney. Well, I want you to understand what goes around comes around. That's a law of nature. Law of nature. I didn't make it. I didn't sit here and write and say, oh, law of nature. The creator God, Mr. Universe, I like to call him God. I do talk to him all the time. I refer to him as God. He created cause and effect and also a thing called karma. Another way to look at it, it's called the golden rule. Do to others only what you want done to you. Now, do to others, wish for others, do and be to others. This would really change the world, right? Only what you would want said or done to you. Now, if you really let that resonate, swallow that, salvitate, marinate that for a moment. The interesting thing I had put down here, because I did write myself some really cool bullet points here. You need to know how it works. Now, there's 3 different groups of people who view 3 different groups of people. And I've seen it over and over and over and over in my life coaching. That's what I do. I'm a life coach. I've seen it for decades and decades. And the 3 are the narcissists, they have an arrogance to them. Arrogance, pompous, walk around with their head up in the air. Narcissists, because I know it all, they have an arrogance. Narcissists have arrogance. So the narcissists, which are arrogant, the majority of them laugh at karma. Ha, 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 ha. They laugh or poo-poo it off, as we call it. Poo-poo it off. They laugh it off. That's a traditional style. Like we all have a style. Narcissists have a style, and their style is to laugh a lot of things off, especially when it comes to karma. Now, the other group, the sociopaths, and I love to talk about these two because these are the really 2 groups that really mess with, people in this world and make everything really crazy. The sociopaths, they lack feeling or they have no feeling. Mostly they really have no feeling. And if they appear to have feeling, it's because they realize people are catching on to them. Again, sociopaths have zero feeling. They feel nothing, like, knocking on wood or cement. They learn, their people are catching on to them, so they've learned to imitate. They imitate. Sociopaths imitate what people with feeling act and look like, because they're very good actors, because they feel nothing. So they could play many different roles. That was me 5 minutes ago, and this is me today. And because they have no feelings, the sociopaths are actually skeptics. Now, what does that mean? Why would a sociopath be a skeptic? Because they don't feel anything. They don't feel or care what they wish on anybody, because most of them, I'm going to use the word, they're almost like soulless. It's like hanging out with a shark or something. I love to use that term. Because they don't feel anything. So whatever they throw out to everybody else or wish on anybody else, or whatever. And some of them don't even care because they don't really think or aren't concerned with other people. But they're really your skeptics. I'm going to use your sociopaths are skeptics because they usually don't really believe in anything. Why don't they believe anything? Because they really don't feel anything. And it's sad because they come into life because there's a miswiring. Their wiring, internal wiring in their head wasn't correct from the time that they were born. So when they were being formed, some nuts, bolts, and screws were missing, and a lot of them is what made them sensitive to things. Now, your other bunch of people, so we looked at the narcissists are arrogant, they laugh about it. The sociopaths, they don't really feel very much, so they just, whatever, yeah, I'm a skeptic if there even is such a thing, da-da-da. And then we got the vindictive people. Oh, now the planet is loaded, oodles of them, vindictive people. But you say, and what does that mean? Here's what a vindictive person says. Oh, I hope they get theirs. When are they going to get theirs? Arr. I call it like the pirate. Arr. They want to know when somebody's going to get them. And you know how many people actually quit living their life because they're constantly up other people's behind. Let's call it what it is. They're up other people's behind. They're always busy trying to find out their business. Every little thing going on, even, watch them on Facebook. They follow them, their neighbors with a little, telescope in the house. They really are waiting and hoping that person gets theirs. And there's a reason for it, why they became like that. It don't excuse them. It does not excuse them. But the vindictive people, 98%. Now that's a pretty big number. 98% of vindictive people, and they aren't really the narcissists. They are not the full-blown sociopaths who feel nothing. So they're skeptics. These people believe, they wish, they cross their fingers and toes and everything else because they want to see that person paying and suffering and writhing for everything. Now, why did they get like that? Because 90% of these people have been abused. How do you get abused? What is abuse? Abuse means that somebody hurt you really deeply, physically, mentally, spiritually, monetarily, or sexually. Write that down. So if you're taking notes, and I really highly suggest you take notes, because I'd really hate to see this go right over your head, because you're gonna be the one who misses this. I really highly suggest take notes on things and really do write these things down. I know I talk fast, but the beautiful thing is when you're on YouTube, you can go back and replay them and share them with other people. But here's what I suggest you understand. They are very abused. How are you abused? Physically, mentally. Somebody hit you, they beat you up. Physically, mentally, they abused your mind by what they said to you. Spiritually, they made you almost quit believing in everything in God and everything else that's good anymore. Physically, emotionally, spiritually. Monetarily means somebody took your money. Somebody really hit you in the old breadbasket and really cost you a lot. So monetarily, that's another big way. So physically, emotionally, spiritually, monetarily, and then sexually. If somebody sexually abused you, touched you improperly, raped you, tried to rape you, scared the heebie-jeebies out of you by, what they did to you, you are going to grow a shell around yourself, and it's a protective shell because you could not stop people from hurting you physically, emotionally, spiritually, monetarily, or sexually. So the only power you believe, and this is very subconscious, that you believe, it's your belief system, that at least what I can do, I can wish them really bad. because these people seem bigger than life and you can't get back at them. So that thing, let's just clear that up so we really understand what we're talking about. So it's not just like, oh, karma, oh, it's a topic. No, I want you to really, let's go to the basement level and look at this stuff today because you really need to. It didn't say you want to, you need to. Because if you don't go to the basement level, you're never really going to see this. You're not going to get it. And if you're one of those very vindictive people always wishing something bad, just remember it came from you being hurt, wounded, severely disappointed, felt like somebody, shredded you physically, emotionally, spiritually, monetarily, or sexually. So those are some of the big things. Let's see what else I have to talk about here. Also, people really want to go after people. People who have really been through a lot and they're very vindictive. They really are wishing bad karma. They're angry that people in their life are hiding secrets. So when you have somebody and they did something to you and you believe they're getting away with hiding that secret of what they did and everybody else thinks they're, Joe Wonderful and Mary, Mary of St. Mary or something, they think she's just great and he's just wonderful, but you know the truth of them because you've already experienced them. You see, that's another reason for deep-seated why you wish bad on people. But we're going to look at the karma end. But we also have to say is if you have karma, but if you're really vindictive about it and you're just like this, I'll get them my pretty or whatever your thing is. I think there's some crazy Halloween movie or something. First thing is, it is based on the golden rule. And I will tell you, if everybody would, they're not going to. People are people. People are come in light and dark. They're good, they're evil. Okay, they're good, they're bad. They're like light meat, dark meat of, if you get a chicken or a turkey, they're light meat, dark meat. That's hard to say, dark meat. But the bottom line is they are what they are. And these people have never, when you are really vindictive, you're angry, you want people to have karma, you actually believe they can never pay the debt. They can never, you believe this, they can never pay the debt for what they did to you. Now, what role do you play in this? What role do you? We're talking about you now, and we're talking about karma. First thing people want to know is, can it be stopped? Can karma be stopped? Can karma be reversed? Let's look at that. First thing, there are only two ways I personally know, and I've seen it. I've seen it. I know it's true. There's only two ways that I have ever seen karma stopped and reversed. It just stopped in its track. Like somebody pulled the plug on it, like you pull the plug on your computer or something. And it is when that person will come to a person and physically go to that person and ask for forgiveness when they have nothing to gain. They're not trying to get money, so they want forgiveness. They're not trying to, get anything from you. They just really seriously, they will come to the person. That is a full-blown thing that will really, it'll lighten 90% of their karma up, going to the person and saying, I really want you to forgive me. Whether they forgive you or not, whether you forgive them or not, let's put it that way. That's going to be up to you. But a person who seriously is fearing or they're seeing what's happening to their own life and they want it, the real deal, the ones that really can turn it around, stop it, pull the emergency brake or reverse or just end karma, that things they did is when they go face to face with the person. And that really, I've seen it stop it right there because it's forgiveness. It's like blotting something else or using erase. That erase when you used to have a typewriter, you put that white stuff and you put erase. It no longer exists. You can't see it. God can't see it. Now, the coward ones, I'm going to call them the big chicken cowards. And this, I hate to say it, I do believe you're supposed to go to God and ask for forgiveness. I'm all about that. Okay. Problem is with that's called chicken. When you say, I'm going to go to God, forgive me, forgive me what I did to so-and-so, forgive me. And usually people don't ask for forgiveness until they start getting they start themselves getting sick, their family starts dying, they lose their money, their house burns down, some big thing happens. And all of a sudden, I'm going to put it to you really in a crude way, the person who did all these bad things, they're crapping in their pants. Crapping one's pants, we've all heard that. Yeah. So they run to God, okay, and I call it the chicken way of doing it, and say, God, forgive me, because they know that now they're seeing cause and effect, and that's one way to do it. that's up to God if he's going to take care of it or not. But I have never seen it fully come to a halt until you do go to the creator, you do go to God and say, I seriously, and not because I'm trying to stop all the bad caca from happening to my life, you really, 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 you know what you did, you have remorse about what you did, and you're, it's not that you want it to stop in your own life. You had a wake up call, and that's going to be your wake up call until you pass away. So you know it. And there's deep remorse, and you sincerely want to make a difference. But you have to go to the person and you have to go to the creator and ask forgiveness. If you don't do both, I'm sorry, but karma might be taking a big bite out of your behind. And the interesting thing they say about karma, and I have seen it true, no matter how many times you move, no matter how many times you change your phone number, karma will always know your address and your phone number and your zip code. And here's the other thing about karma. Because karma is a law that the creator set into motion, cause and effect. If you do this, I'll do that. It's the same thing with consequences with your kids. If you do this, then as your parent, I'm going to do that. You brought that on yourself. The parent is not striking out at the child. They're just saying, here's the rules. And if you do this, then I will do that. So I am only doing what I said I'm going to do if you do what you do. So it is a cause and effect thing. So do realize that. The other thing is when you wish bad karma on a person, I wish, I hope, I'm waiting for the day. And I just recently, I don't know where it came from, but 3 people out of the blue, 2 I overheard in a conversation, actually in a restaurant and once at a bingo hall, believe it or not. I was just minding my own business, but people talk loud and you can't miss it. Boy, I hope they get theirs. I've been waiting for years to see him or her really get it. Well, you know what? It's very dangerous to do that because what we do, we're all made out of energy. And whatever we send out, it has a boomerang effect. Every thought we have, to the good ones, the warm and fuzzy, the cuddly dudley, the warm and fuzzy, everything that we have, thoughts, love, kindness, whatever we're sending out, okay, and it is going to the other person. They're picking it up. The other problem is it always has a boomerang. You know what a boomerang, that little, you throw it out, there's no escape from it coming back. That's one thing about our thoughts and our words. They do come back to us. So do keep in mind that is another thing. They do have a boomerang effect. So when you have all this poisonous feeling, I call it the pirate, or the poison pen thing that you want to just, stick that person with. Just remember the poison that you have in you that you want to send out to somebody else. It will go out. I mean, they're going to feel it in some way. Okay. The other problem is it will return to you, but when it comes on its way back to you, it picks up momentum and it's more lethal. So at your very worst or at your best, what you send out to the good or the bad or the other, which is karma, you are on the receiving, you will be 100%. There's no way around it. I don't care how you duck. I don't care how fast you can tuck and roll. I don't care about those things. It really don't matter. It's like when they have these fighter jets, once they put that little red target on a person, I don't care, you go high, you go low, no matter what you do, you roll on a fetal ball, you get back up, you do a cartwheel, it's going to get you. And you have to say, is it worth it to me? Is it worth it to me to carry this hatred around? Because the poison that you send out to other people, it will return to you, and it always will. And sadly, that's a big thing. The other thing is if it helps you, there's a really cool thing. I believe it's in the book of Psalms, and I just love it because it's a book about wisdom, and my show is all aboard wisdom, all aboard. So when you're all aboard and you're ready to get real, be aboard my wisdom train and everything else, it talks about, and in this wonderful book, it says, and this is something God says, I promise you, if you do the right things. He didn't say if they're going to do the right things. There's some jerk offs, some idiots, some nutballs, some real head cases, some really dark individuals. Okay. They got no feeling, no soul, sociopath, narcissist, and just plain wired cuckoo. But the thing is, if you will do the right thing, you get your eyes off of what everyone else is doing. If you will do and continue to do the right thing, it says, here's the beautiful part. And God don't make promises he don't keep. He says, I promise you, I will make your enemies your footstool. Wow. I cannot tell you how many times when I have been hurt, wounded, I felt like I was sliced, diced 30 different ways, like a Ginsu knife and all those things. Like, I mean, we all have this. We all have things that have really deeply wounded us. But it says, if you will choose to be good. I'm not telling you to go kiss their fanny and send them a Valentine, but if you choose not to have poison, not to send it out to them, the old thing, let go, let God, if you will do it, totally up to you. Or you can just stay, bitter and do the pirate thing and, go after people and, wish them all the worst stuff. But I'm going to settle for me. And I'm going to tell you, it really works. I'm actually shocked when it always happens. And, you don't ask me how, but with karma, I've always gotten a front row seat with like almost popcorn and candy, and my favorite soda to the front row of all the things that are happening to these people. And it's not just to them. When karma goes after a person because of what they've said and done, and they won't say they're sorry to the person and mean it, and they won't go to God and say they're sorry. And when he says he makes them a footstool, I'm going to tell you, it don't just go after them. It's usually after the thing they love the most. So what do you love the most? I don't know, your mate, your children, your money, your prestige, your image, your health. Oh my gosh, when it's your health, I don't care how much money you have, nothing's going to make a difference because you can't go save yourself. Go try. People try it all the time. So in closing this today, I want you to just get that little tidbit about karma. I'm just, I guess sometimes I get a little blah, blah, blah. You hear about it all the time. I'm going to say it gets old, but it's all based on consequences. And like I said, the narcissists, they're going to laugh it off because they're arrogant. That doesn't affect me. The sociopaths, they have no feelings. So they're going to be the biggest skeptics. Yeah, I don't believe in that. So they keep doing more of what they're doing without no feeling. And then you got those who are the vindictive ones, and they became vindictive. Most all people became vindictive because they were hurt physically, emotionally, spiritually, monetarily, or sexually. They never got over it. They never went to God and asked to be healed for those things. They just carried around those open wounds and they got infested, and it eats at them today. So if you enjoyed today's karma talk, which I just had a ball doing, I totally enjoyed it. I really did, because it was time somebody really got down in the dirt and nitty gritty with you about some facts about it. If you liked it, please hit like and also hit subscribe. And do me a favor, if you know somebody that's vindictive, or you're dealing with it, keep watching this, rewatch it. The beautiful thing about YouTube, you can keep watching it. You can let it soak into you and share it with other people. I'm just hearing this all the time, are doing groups of people and having little get-togethers at their house. And after a little house party or something, they're actually having people sit down and watch these. So God bless. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day or evening. And just remember, all aboard wisdom. I'm here for you.